what,
What did you call it? Your rooster?
No. My little soldier when I got it burned.
Yeah, your little soldier.
Little soldier
Of all the
with
things,
helmet on.
your starving brain comes up with.
I liked it. It was on the. I mean, hey, your little soldier's helmet. We want to talk about your little soldier's helmet because I don't think that your soldier's helmet got enough airtime.
Oh,
I mean, it was
my
the best
goodness.
part of the show, and it only got a minute. And Lily's opening got a minute and a half. I literally sat there and timed it. I had my timer. Her opening was a minute and a half. Your little soldier's helmet was only a minute. How is your little soldier?
Let's anthropomorphize him. He's fine. He's all in one piece.
Did they have to bandage up at all,
No,
or keep putting ointment?
not at
or
all. I
treating
mean,
it?
someone like my phone obviously blew up, and you're on TMZ, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. And they made out like it was basically fried, like like deep fried sausage or something ridiculous,
Right.
And I clarified it to them afterwards. It was like if you imagine like a small rolled up cigarette being extinguished.
Yeah.
It's.
So it was a piece of coal though that like popped
It was
out
very
at you?
uncomfortable. There's a little blemish left, but other than that, everything's fine. I promise. I assure everyone. I've had well wishers in many languages from all over the world, and I think going off of like internet statistics, I had the most famous member in the world last week, which is ridiculous.
Yes, I called it the torch tip. I was like, oh my God, his tip got torched.
Torch tip.
I did. I
That's a
put
good
it
one.
out there. I felt a little guilty about it, but it is what it is. It happens. You have to, when you're on the show, you have to deal with the public. You're putting yourself out there. It's a reality TV show, right?
Yeah, and I think that is the truth of it, and you've hit the nail on the head. Is that
it is. I got the joke.
It is real. That happened, and to be honest, I'm surprised. It's miraculous that it hasn't happened to anyone else already, or if it has,
that's true.
That footage exists on a shelf somewhere. But I'd like to call out, is it Duke, when he was with Amal? He got stung on the tip by a wasp. Now, maybe we should set up a vote for who's had who's had the worst time in the old penis pulverizer club. But I think EJ probably tops the leaderboard.
But he wasn't the tip. It was
No.
the bottom part, the bits, as you call it. I'm
The
going to
bits
talk
and
in my
bobs.
accent. Yeah, it was the bits so the bits and bobs. I know, but I really do think that you had to go through it, and I wanted to give it the proper attention because it is real out there. I don't care the rumors of armed guards. I don't care about the rumors of someone being with you. There's things that you cannot avoid. Let's let those rumors be. But
oh no, I'll tell you now.
Not going to protect your little soldier from getting burnt up by coals.
No, that's never going to happen. But I'll tell you for now. As a fan, I'm a fan. You've seen me in the fans of Naked and Afraid and XL for years. It is in the back of your mind when you get out there. Is this all legit? And you get out there, and it is. It is. And do you know what?
I believe it.
I actually want them to do an episode where they take some doubters. It's doubters that would make it like maybe actual survivalists that, put down perhaps the realism of Naked and Afraid.
It's not
and
hard
I
as they
would
make it seem.
pay to see those guys or those people in a challenge, wouldn't you? People who think it's fake. And put them in, let them meet up, let them be sent. What do we do now? Go that way. 21 days, and that is
exactly.
it. That is what
just
you've
drop
got.
them down there and let them see how real.
Because that is what happens. That is what happens, ladies. I would tell you otherwise, and it is. and honestly, I can feel it now. Just remembering it. Like that's how real it is. Look at my face. Look at I felt a little embarrassed before. I was bright red. I can see on my camera. Just thinking about it flushes the blood to my organs. It's that's how real it is. Yeah.
And you got a sucky map on top of that. Your map was like this big.
We turned up. I'll tell you for now. We got there and they handed over the map. And obviously, again, I watch every episode. I love the show. I was like, I wonder what animal dangers and potential campsites we'll have. And it's basically just like copied and pasted and then printed out on like a like a Xerox machine, if you know, and I was like, is this? I'm pretty sure. Am I allowed to say bad words? Because I said, isn't this some season 1 bullshit?
Oh my God, you made me choke.
They didn't put that in. But
it was very not your little soldier head, but the map was very small. And but I do want to ask you this, because we want to get into the show. We have a new segment on the show because so many people are messaging me saying, "How can you help me get on the show? Do you have any tips on getting on the show? Can you give me your number 1 tip on how to get on the show?" Just one.
How to get on the show? I mean, that's obviously you apply through Metal Flowers Media. I'm sure you can put like links and what have you in the description. And you go through the process, and it's a very long process. The truth is, I applied several times over the years, knowing I'd love to have a shot. I mean, we all watch the show. Some people watch it because they know they wouldn't want to attempt it, but there's that morbid fascination of what's unfolding. But then there's other folks that watch it. A lot of ex-military personnel, adventure enthusiasts, all manner of interesting people watch this show as well, and are like, they don't know why, but they see I don't know what I said in a live the other night. I said, if you have to explain it to someone, they won't be able to understand. But there's something that I need to try this. I would need to test myself, whatever it is. And I had that. That feeling, whatever.
In the pit of your soul.
Yeah. If there is such a thing,
gotta try it.
It's just I need to have a go at this. I could be good at this, maybe. Whatever, and keep that feeling, because that's what you've got to have if you want to make it. And I'll tell you what else you've got to know. You've got to know it's really, really, really going to suck. Like,
yes, and that's why we would never apply to be on the show, because I just wouldn't be able to do it. I know me, and I'm not into it, but we want to help other people get on the show. So we're going to get into our next segment, which is called True or False, or Oh Heck Nah. Oh heck no means you're not going to answer the question for whatever reason. I'm going to go first, and then Debbie's going to go second.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Okay.
True or false? You spend at least 4 hours learning about what not to say in the media and everything you have to be quiet about in your NDA.
What, like coaching and stuff?
Like with the lawyer stuff, saying you're not allowed to say this. You are allowed to say this. You're not allowed to say how much money you make on the show. You're not allowed to tell them any of the secrets of the show. Your non-disclosure agreement. Well, do they sit you down and drill you with it for anywhere between 2 and 4 hours?
No,
True or false?
No, not at all. And there's no like, they're not going to send a hit squad to your house.
I'm not frozen. I'm in shock.
It's obviously there's certain things that you're not to divulge. I mean, imagine obviously it was, you go out and do your challenge, and then you have to stay quiet for a period of time. There's no mystery to that. If I'd have come home and mouthed off about it straight away, that would totally ruin it, wouldn't it? And you guys would be angry at me right now. In fact, you'd be angry enough that you'd probably say, hey, Disco, sue his ass, he ruined, or, whatever.
And I just thought there was a big, because y'all are so good at not talking. I'm wrong. I stand corrected.
Well,
I was wrong.
Well, it's because
everybody.
no one wants to ruin. You know, if you go out on a challenge, that I'm a fan. There's always the obligatory. I'm going off grid. You know,
Yes.
and I've noticed now that some people actually have fun with it. Where people maybe that are just going on a normal vacation or something will post something just to get everyone
To mess with
wound
their
up.
minds.
Yeah, because obviously. Super fans, we're watching everyone's feed to see they haven't posted for a while. You know, and don't tell me it doesn't happen because I've done it.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
talking.
I would not
You're
be able to
talking
keep
to
the
a fan
secret.
yourself.
I would tell everybody. I would be like, guess what, y'all? I just got back. I just got chosen. I've been on the show. I did this. I did that. I would give it all away. All right, your turn, Debbie. True, false, or heck no?
I'm gonna do true or false, or let me see. I wanted to ask about the cove the second time around.
The cold, yeah.
True or false? Oh yeah, one of you had to always like sit or lay down at first.
Yeah, we built the shelter in 2 stages. So if you looked, it was basically it was symmetrical, and it was exactly the same shelter twice. But in our discussions, we said that it would be sensible if we built a shelter that was functional at every stage of its construction. So, like, I've seen shelters perhaps in the past where they're awesome, don't get me wrong, but they only work once they're finished. Whereas with a shelter that was designed like ours, we could both squeeze in that one side when it was completed, which put no pressure on us to finish the other side until it started to get really cold, and we reinforced the long fire in the center. I don't know if you can actually see it, but we found like a big long flat like slab of rock, and I put it between 2 other rocks, and we had like a nice little stove, I suppose, to kind of put the pot on and keep the water warm. It was really good, the shelter. You know, if like I said at the end, we had separate little bedrooms. It was legit.
It was cute.
But yeah.
Oh, so my true or false question was, if it really upset you, because it looked like you were a little upset when she wanted to move the shelter, or move the rocks. Like, I think we should go somewhere else, and you were just like, oh,
well,
it can't. Or true or false? You're very upset about it.
I wasn't very upset, and neither was Lily. I mean, let's put this whole argument to bed. Lily was 100% right, because Lily's that. Of course, she was right. The truth is, at any given moment, that whole shelter could have just been blasted away. But I mean,
and it came out amazing too.
Yeah, and it would have been a terrible crying shame to watch it get washed away. But
oh heck no! I'm interrupting this. I do not agree with you.
It would have been good TV. It would have been good TV.
No, I'm saying, Sam, you were mad, and you had every right to be mad, and it came out from the pit of your soul in the Naked and Afraid, situation. It's like brothers and sisters fighting. It's not like you were upset with her, but I think that you are right. I think that you had already exerted all of those calories doing that, and from the way the show showed it, it wasn't that far. I think you made the right call. I think you were right, because even if you moved it a few feet, you said the whole cove would flood.
Well, that was my hypothesis. That's what I haven't got a flipping a surveyor's laser beam thing or whatever. I can't Google what the weather's doing, But my kind of hypothesis was, even those massive, huge boulders we were scrambling over on extraction down the wash, they were washed down there. So at some point, water must come down that canyon to the point where it, I'm sure, like it zoomed out and like from one side to the other, and I bet you it floods every which way in between as well, if you get what I mean. I mean, even when the weather was bad, you saw how much water was accumulating. Lily was right.
Wow.
And what is a risk assessment? A risk assessment is the likelihood that a thing is going to happen. So go on, you ladies, tell me. It would have been great to have more minds out there. How likely do you think it was going to flood in those remaining 20, was it 15, 16 days?
15, I think.
Do you think it was a high likelihood that it might flood again? Medium, low?
I think it was.
New Mexico
I think it was
desert?
medium.
About medium. So Lily was right in that respect. And what would have been the severity of that happening? Would it have messed us up really bad? Could it have ended our challenge? You know,
I don't know. I know you would have gotten one in the face.
yeah, 2 in the chest or 1 in the face. I would have let her punch me because she was right. So we rolled. My argument was to roll the dice. So
I'm a
Did
gambler.
that take you all day?
we could have been having a very
I wanted to
different
know, did
conversation right now, couldn't we? Think about
Yeah.
it. If that had washed away, I'd have a black eye from Lily. You know, our shelter would be gone. We'd have had to gone scrambling up. It would have been chaos, and I'd have been the bad guy for sure.
I'm going to bow
It
down
turned
to
out
the
great.
great Sam because,
It
I mean, I'm a
turned out
fan
good.
of yours, just like you're a fan of Lily's. So I'm going to bow down to you, but I want you to know that Debbie is Team Lily and I'm Team Sam.
Well, I'm
because-
team silly, so that's how I
Team-
roll.
Oh,
we're both.
silly,
I mean,
yeah,
yes,
team
we're
silly,
team
yeah.
silly. I just want to
Yeah.
I just felt like the show did not give you enough props. The way it was portrayed, like a super fan. I think all of our super fans of the show, we got how hard of work you did, how much sweat and labor and equity that was put in the show, and the editing, how it kind of made it seem like, you know, like she was kind of leading you. But we know that you did a lot of work. And like, because Debbie's not a super fan, Sam. She's just a first time watcher.
Oh, really?
You know, this is yeah. She's
Wow.
not a super fan like me. So when she
always
watched the
like,
show
oh
from
my
her
gosh.
perspective, she was like, you know, Lily did. You know, Lily's bad A, and she's wonderful, and she's great, and she's the best girl that's ever been on the show, which is true. But she didn't bring
sexy.
you up, and I just wanted to just really bow down to you and tell you that. And I'm not kissing, but I really want to tell you that I just don't think that you got as much accolades as you should have. And then also you used all these big words I had to keep looking up. I was like, what is verdant? I was like, what the heck? And then
To be
meters.
honest, I did think when the episode came on and I heard myself say, "Oh, it's much more verdant down here," I was like, "My goodness! I hope
Did I
that
say
hope
that?
that means really green and overgrown."
Oh. I was doing the same thing. I was like, what the heck? These darn British, Englishmen. And I was like, oh. But you were great. And we just want to take a moment. You said that we might shred you in the beginning of the show. And we're not, because
No.
in my opinion, I think that you need, if there's anybody that needs to come back on the show, I think it's you. I think you and Lily were the perfect pair.
Good chemistry again.
I can't
yeah.
imagine her with someone like a Belant or a Gary, you know, or even a Matt Wright. I mean, I just really, you were
I would-
perfect.
I think we did very well, and I think we really did become really great friends out there. I've got to say. Obviously, the way to think about it is, you know, ignore any differences, because the truth of the show is the challenge. The sport. I think of it as that's
Yeah.
how my mind kind of computes Naked and Afraid. Part of the premise is that you're going to be paired with someone that's the polar opposite. So it's interesting. You can kind of predict who you might be with by looking at yourself. And then thinking, well, who am I? What's my background? And what would be someone who clearly still wants to do the challenge? What would the opposite of that be? And Lily is extremely knowledgeable. She's skilled, talented. I mean, if you've seen her shoot, if you watched her videos, she's like Legolas. Like, it doesn't look real. She can just.
Yes.
It's incredible.
It's real.
Yeah, it really is. It's mind blowing at the level of skill and knowledge she has in survival. So I'd say that anyone in my position would be a fool if they didn't realise what an asset she would be to them.
Exactly. But I think there were some men out there that would
amazing.
be on the show that would not recognize it. So I think that they did a very nice pairing.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm really glad I had Lily as my partner. I really am.
Oh, yeah. That's what I would want. I think I would, if I had to have a girl, I would definitely want Lily because she's the most talented one I've seen thus far. That hasn't done a lot of challenges. Like, I'm thinking of another girl that I would want to be with, and I can't think of another one besides maybe Tara.
You would want to be with.
Yes, I would. I wouldn't mind being with Tara.
You'd have a lot of fun with Tara.
I would. I'm trying to think of another girl. I can't think of another girl that I would want to be with. I would not want to be with. I mean, she's the one I would want to be with. I'm not going to say who I wouldn't want to be with.
Well,
Lily's the one.
You like personal, because you've got to consider personality-wise. I mean, everyone who's been on a challenge is legendary. Is awesome. I personally, I've got more so now, more respect for anyone who gets off the plane to have a go, because
to try it.
I'm telling you now, from the moment you you put yourself out there, all the flight over, you know, what have I done? What have I got myself into?
What am I doing?
It is a true, like, sinking feeling. So go on, what's next? What you got for me next?
Yeah, we got anything else, Debbie?
I had if she... Well, not really true or false. This is a question I had. So when she wanted to tap out...
Yeah.
That was a great see how you talked her into it, the compassion. Yeah, we could do it, and the confidence you had. If you stay, we can get to 21 days. If she would have tapped and left, well, where do you think you would have? How would that have left you? And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it would probably left me up shit creek, to be honest. With
well, you had a good cove. Did you have any?
Could I have grizzed it out to the end? You know, gone into like the standard, I'll crawl in the shelter, hold a leaf over my head, and, you know, just grizz it out to the end. Yeah, there's all possibility I could have done that. Would it? What? It would have been a sour end to what had been an awesome challenge, though, wouldn't it, ladies? It would have been. It would have been a sad end, a sour taste. It would have left a sour taste in my mouth, in my mouth, and you know.
And what day was that?
Do you know what? I'm so starved out. I know that like day 13 was obviously a bad day.
So you'd have been there a while.
And you know, I wouldn't have wanted to have grizzed it out to the end on my own, and I don't think that would have been a very pleasant challenge. And I think that the subsequent material that they have to construct what, you know, is a separate thing, the actual show, like I say, as a fan, you know, it would have been a very sour, bitter end, and not a pleasant one at all, to what had been, to be honest, despite it being a terrible, terrifying suffering, quite an awesome adventure up to that point. I hope you'd agree.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
we do.
But I didn't want Lily to leave, and she didn't want to leave. She didn't want to leave,
No.
and you know, I've got all these messages. Oh, Sam, you know, but let's not forget the fact that it was me that first vocalised an intrusive thought and affected her psychology so negatively. You know, there's no denying that, and that's the consequences of a single. Of putting negative energy out there, whatever you want to call it, you know, and she absorbed every last morsel of that, and it obviously nearly took her out the challenge. And I really do believe that had she left, let's not beat around the bush, you'd be having a very different conversation with me right now, wouldn't you?
yeah.
In fact, it wouldn't be. I'd have been an asshole of the season, possibly. Who knows?
Oh no.
You know.
See.
Think about it.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about when you said, you know, I'm doing all the work. Let's just kind of, I'm doing a lot of work. I can't keep going. I didn't feel that way. I think you got frustrated, but I'm not out there and hungry and starving and cold. And I have an autoimmune disorder too. So I understand her point of view.
So does my wife.
Yeah. So I understand, like, you just let go a little bit, and I don't knock you for that, and I don't knock you for it, and you handled everything perfectly, and I don't think you're, you know, everybody was talking about the people that I talked to were like, well, he had mentioned how snobby of it was him to mention the PSR rating. That's what I was like, hello, he's out there working. How important is the PSR to people? It's not that important to you, is it?
Well,
you just happen to mention
well,
it.
I mean, consider, like I said, I'm sure I alluded to it earlier on. Like for me, I watch Naked and Afraid. I enjoy it like other people enjoy watching their favourite sport. You know, so 21 days your body can go for. You know, it's on the upper limit. You know, I released my before, during, and after images today, like from when just after I got out and how thin I was and everything, and it was bad. You know, the truth is 21 days will take you to the cusp of suffering from serious medical problems. I mean, on the 40, that's why they have to eat, because if you just tries to grizz 40 days out, you're going to get dragged out. That being said, I also feel that a core part of the challenge is to show up. You know, because the truth be told, you could turn up, build a cozy little hovel, get your water going, start your fire, and just grizz it out, and just sit there.
And some people have done that.
And hats off to them. It is a valid strategy, 100%. I'm not knocking it. You know, in fact, everyone needs to have that ability to do that if necessary. And there was a fair bit of sitting there just, you know, taking it like a champ out there. But I think you've got to try and at least every day just try and crawl out the shelter and just go and see what there is out there, see what's to find. You might be surprised.
Like, I gotta eat today. What are we gonna eat?
Yeah, and even if you don't find something to eat, and the other thing is like concurrent activity. Don't come back empty-handed. It's something that, like a rule I made for myself before I went. You know, if I'm going out there and I don't find anything, I'm still going to bring some sticks back.
Yes.
Oh,
know.
yeah.
But you brought back plenty, and I want to see you on another show. I mean, I want to see you.
Yeah.
I need to see you on another show. I want to see you like in Africa. You're going back, right?
I don't know.
Dang it, I thought I was going to get them.
Would you want me back?
Right.
Yes, I want to see you.
Yes.
I want to see you. I want to see you back so bad. I want to see you suffer a little bit more.
Really?
Yes, and I want to see you because I think you had it way too easy this time. I mean, I want to see you go out there and I really do want to see you go out there. I don't want to see you struggle. I know it wasn't easy this time. I'm being silly.
Yeah.
People can't see me wink on the podcast, so I got to remember that because I don't want people coming after me. But I do want to see you again. I want to see you with a different type of partner. I just like I want to see other people back. You know, I'm so happy to see Andrew back. I'm so happy to see the cocky Canadian Chris back. I want to see. I mean, you're one of the people now that I'm just gonna be waiting and checking your, social media to see when you're silent.
Ooh.
But I know what you're gonna do. I have a life post for you.
You need to scroll back through my thing. Like I posted a freaking meme I made when I vanished.
Oh man. Where would you like to go?
Where would I like to go? Oh, wow! Like if I had like absolute power over it.
You could choose.
Oh well, as a fan, I think. Do you remember when the XL1 location? Now I'm not saying Colombia, and I'm not saying the same place. But I loved the way there was like a really cool mixture of biomes. Like they had the river going through with like a bit of forest, the piranha lake with all the, and that big savanna. Yeah, there was a little bit of everything. I thought Palawan was beautiful. Palawan Island. I don't know.
Yes.
I can't remember which XL it was.
I know which one.
With all the
with Jess and Laura.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was a good one.
Yes, that was a good one. But I wouldn't mind seeing you there. Different challenge, even though it's still tropical.
I mean, like obviously somewhere like the Amazon or something. I mean, that's the ultimate. If you can survive there and do an XL, I mean, obviously that was hellacious, wasn't it? The XL Amazon. Yeah. I mean, that was.
Oh my gosh!
I'm so glad you didn't say frozen locations because I don't like frozen locations. They're a little bit too tame for me. You do have to conserve your energy a lot more.
I think Frozen's cool. I think it's kind of like it's an interesting different take on the challenge, because I think it's a good way that if you've got like lots of survivalists that you want to get to know more, because they're going to spend a lot more time keeping warm, grizzing it out in the shelter. I noticed they talked a lot more, they interacted a lot more. You know, it probably caused a little bit more friction because there's not so much going out. So perhaps if you're a fan that likes a little bit more of the drama side of things, the Frozen ones, I suppose, more up that road because of the close quarters of the scenario. But to be honest, I would watch just a whole of the Frozen challenge again to hear Jeremy McCarr talk about his short stack, because I couldn't when he said that on that episode, I couldn't. You know, when you laugh so much you can't physically breathe.
You're making me choke again. Oh my God, you've made me choke more than anybody in the world. Yes, oh I love Jeremy McCaw. And then, okay, so I thought he was being innocent. Like, he would make these jokes about Beaver, and I was like, he's so innocent. He doesn't know he's making those jokes. And then later on, he was like, I'm not innocent at all. But I was 100%. Jeremy is really one of my favorites.
Yeah,
awesome. I don't know. Who's your favorite?
Oh, I'm not picking a favourite. EJ.
I cannot get him for nothing.
EJ. I think I'm going to say EJ. No, I'm not. Obviously, I love Matt, all of them, everyone. But when I first ever watched the show, I saw EJ Snyder stride out into that savannah, and it was the pilot episode. Even though it was aired second, I think. But I missed the first one and had to catch up. But I saw. And I was just like, what the hell is going on? Just like, I don't know what I'm watching right now, but like, I am not moving till it's finished. What is this craziness? And there they are in the middle of the savannah with like a broken K-bar and a soup ladle. And I was, what?
I'm trying.
What evil fiendish mind thought this up?
That's me. I'm on the couch watching constantly. I've been a fan from the very beginning. Like I said, I brought Debbie into this. I brought her into it. So I like her virgin eyes, because she's learning everything new, and like she'll see something and she'll call me up and be like, what does that mean? And I'm like, I have to explain it. And I think it's great that she's so innocent. It
makes me a little jealous that you're getting to watch all these episodes for the first time, because it is fantastic. And do you know what I love about Naked and Afraid as well? How every episode has its own unique title, but at the same time it has like its other name, and I don't know if I get in trouble, but like its friend's name. Like mine will be the one where the dude burnt his, you know, it's it's
the nicknames you get.
You know, I love that about it. Every single challenge is totally unique. It's its own thing. And I think that's just what makes it so special. And obviously the fan community that we're all a part of, I think it's just and the fact that the cast are a part of that, it's fans. Just I love it.
Yeah, great fans. And even I'll be just sitting here, I'll be sitting at work, and I'm like I'm thinking about it all the time. Or I just had asked my husband, like, do you know how to start a fire? Like, he's like, what kind of question is that? I'll just throw questions at him, you know, just all day.
All day. We're going to wrap this up really fast, but I want to throw this in there about Debbie. She called me up the other day, and she was like, I watched EJ's page, and like, I think I need to go get the end of the world supplies. And I'm just like, she's
like, what are we going to do?
I mean, to be so innocent, isn't that great, Sam?
Oh, bless you. So, well, hopefully it'll keep spinning for a good while longer, so we can watch this new season of Naked and Afraid.
Exactly. Okay, so now thank you again for so much for... Okay, let me start over.
Thank you.
Sam, thanks again so much for being on here. We love you. I mean, you're on my top 5. I want to see you back, and we want to thank you because I know the time difference is crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you. No, thank you
Team
so
Silly. Team Silly.
Yeah, hashtag Team Silly. Yeah. Rise or fall together.
Love to Lily.
But thank you for having me on. Thank you anyone who's listened. Thank you to all the fans, and thank you to everyone who's watched